Hello, Boogie. My dear Boogie. Oh, I'm sorry. Random eye itch. Oh, you get to see me being weird and stupid in these every once in a while. Well, I wouldn't say stupid, but at least slightly weird. Anyway, hi. I don't know if I asked this of you all that much, but how are you doing? I know that I plan on asking you how you're doing. Right now I ask you how your day was, what all you did, but you don't really have much of a response most of the time. You'll say a short sentence here and there, but you're more excited to see me and to go home, or just to see me and pull me back into the back room so you can continue to watch My Little Pony or Curious George or whatever you and your mother are already watching. Actually, because it's Saturday right now and I'm currently doing a Saturday shift every week, then that's exactly where I'm going. I'm going home instead of picking you up from your babysitter. Although, most of the time your mother picks you up from there anyway. I don't really pick you up that often unless your mother has overtime, which we're about to get into, the overtime season for your mom. I had to pick you up once last week because of overtime. And yeah, but I want to know how you're doing, and I'd love it if you asked me how I'm doing. I would love it if you are invested in what I do, if you're curious about how I do things and what I enjoy in life. So it'd be kind of cool if you were interested, or you did ask questions about more than just the state of the world, because I really don't like talking about politics all that much. I know that I've brought it up quite a few times, but there are some days where I don't get on Facebook. I really hope Facebook's still a thing, so that I don't have to explain what Facebook is when you watch these videos, or what Twitter is, but who knows. Facebook could MySpace. And that one I will explain, because MySpace hasn't been relevant in nearly a decade. So MySpace was a website where people could talk to each other, essentially. You had your own web page, your own profile page, and there was a lot of customization to it. So you could do a lot of fun things with it. And honestly, being able to change your profile page and let people see the backgrounds and such, that's something I do miss about MySpace. Whereas Facebook, it's just status updates, pictures, information about yourself, stuff like that. It is very formal in appearance, which I guess is why Facebook has lived on, because as I've grown and done more, well, I've been more interested in things that look more formal, more well held together. Whereas previously I was into more of the edgy grunge. Well, I'm still into edgy grunge, don't get me wrong. That's why alternative rock, specifically punk rock, is still a genre of music that I really love. But out on. I hope I don't do that too much with you. But yeah, I like the formality of Facebook. I like how it simply feels held together. And that's about it. That's the main draw of Facebook and Twitter versus MySpace and Gaia Online and some of the older websites that I used to be really into. Like even DeviantArt is has a better presentation quality than MySpace. But MySpace was fun for like the year and a half that it was really relevant for me. Like I had a MySpace profile, and you can probably still find it since, yeah. You'll see how I always was a nerd. There was no avoiding it. But, by the way, go ahead and give your mom a hug. Because she's just having it real rough right now. I'm sure she could use a hug even in the slightly distant future. Oh, and I didn't make any Dear Boogie on this, but I got this book. It's made by someone who's kind of awesome. And I'm sure I'll have already let you read this book. Because it's a nice book so far. I'm using the term nice kind of loosely with this. It's a good book, though. I'm still I still have a long way to go with this, but I know that as soon as I sit down and just make myself read it, I'm not gonna be able to put it down very easily. But I don't know, I'm constantly tired, so there's a fairly good chance I am going to go into everything with that and take forever to read it. But you never know. Seriously. You never know. I'm kind of hoping that I get to the point where I'm actually keeping my hair shorter by the time you read, or by the time you watch these videos, because just taking care of a hair is a pain. As you can tell, my hair is nice and wavy. I don't know. That was a terrible segue, because I don't know how to build up from there, but I think it's important that we read. I think I'll stick on that for a bit. I write, like this year, I'm planning on working on just a random story. And it's going to be stupid and silly and fun. But I try and write every year for National Novel Writing Month. And this one, I just want to make a comedy story that's fantasy. I want to do a high fantasy, a comedy thing, and I want it to feel like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign there you go, a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, or if you prefer, just a tabletop RPG campaign, where there's a story in there somewhere that's being crafted together, but in the end, they go off on side quests because someone did something else, and it's going to be just hilarious. That's my main goal. Write something funny, be really silly about it, have like tons of jokes on every page. And I want it to be a story that doesn't take itself so seriously, because a lot of the stories that I write do have a light tone to them, but they're not really comedies. They're not there to be funny. The humor in there is to break up the tension, it's to kind of make the story stop for a moment so that you can breathe. And yeah, that's the main point of it. Whereas the story I'm writing this year is still my normal high fantasy, because that's what I work really well in, is high fantasy, although I really enjoy urban fantasy, so I may bring something closer to Earth. But yeah, this year I've already got all the character classes done, and so next I'm going to give them genders based off the person I asked. Although I may not go that route, I may have it different somehow, but it's going to be fun. And I'm kind of excited because I've wanted to do a strict comedy before. I've wanted to do something that's filled with more humor and has a lighter tone. Like, if you're able to watch it, go ahead and watch Harmon Quest. I think you'll be old enough by this point to get some of the adult humor in that. And yeah, because it's a really, really funny, but it's stupid. Like, they know it's stupid. They go into it saying, okay, well, here's how we're going to be funny about this, because Lord knows no one's going to take this seriously. And it's done by Dan Harmon, the guy behind Rick and Morty, and the guy behind Community. Although I think he worked with Justin Roiland on both of those, although I can't be completely sure, just because I don't really know. I wasn't a huge fan of Community, but him and Justin Roiland worked together on Rick and Morty, and it's funny, but it's not as smart or insightful as its fans really think it is. Like, it had some really deep moments, and it feels real. Like, that's one of the reasons I like it, is if these characters existed, I'd believe it. And that's one of the reasons I enjoy young adult fiction. Although John Green kind of strays on that. He typically writes his characters a little bit smarter than he needs to, which is fine. That's one of the things I love about him. But at the end of the day, they're not as believable as... They're still believable, but they're not as believable as some of the other young adult writers out there. I can still see them, but I can't see as many of them popping up. Like, anyone that Maureen Johnson has written is 100% see them every day. Whereas with John Green, many of his fans have seen them. I've seen characters like that. I've been one of those characters. but they don't have superpowers. It's just the people beyond, and that doesn't apply to all of them, but they feel that way. They feel extra. There's more to them than a simple explanation. In most cases, they are specific adjective teenager who, whereas most young adult fiction is actually this person's a teenager who, or this person's a cheerleader, or this person's a goth, or this person's a this. But in his cases, in Turtles All the Way Down, a good description of the main character is she is a an anxious yet depressed teenager who does detective work with her friend because they want a reward, or her friend wants a reward. Yeah. But Maureen Johnson, no, better yet, Lauren Myracle. Her story, Peace, Love, and Baby Ducks. Her story is about two sisters who are learning to grow up and grow apart. Simple premise, simple story, gets it through. But that's not what John Green does. And that's not what I like to do either. John Green has really inspired me to widen the breadth of my characters in a lot of my stories. Whereas with this year, it's not going to be that way. It's going to be very base level stuff, because I'm not going to focus on my normal focus. I'm going to write a funny fantasy story. And I'm going to do it. I may not get the whole 50,000 words because I'm going to be very busy. Sorry, there was someone who decided that they needed to speed up so I could move over to the right. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be hitting the 50,000 words mark like I did last year, because I'm going to be extremely busy with work, going back and forth. And last year I was able to do my work, and between calls I would just write on the story. For me, that was fine. I didn't have a lot of work because, well, honestly, the fact that I wasn't getting a lot of calls, or we weren't getting a lot of calls, whereas I've gotten the promotion, so I have a lot more work that I need to do. So yeah. And of course, you're going to take some of my attention away. You're 4 years old now, and you want to play, you want to go outside, you want to do fun things, and I have absolutely no problem with that, because I enjoy doing things with you. In fact, you're helping me at least keep my weight gain down, although right now I'm hoping that I can get on a better diet and get out more. Now that it's starting to cool down, it's not going to be as hot, I'm going to enjoy things quite a bit more. But who knows? This time last year, we'd already had snow. So I don't know. Anyway, I think that's it for now. If I haven't asked you within the past few months, or if you haven't made it obvious in the past few months, like really obvious, like it's something that you're consistently going towards, why don't you go ahead and sit me down and say, Daddy or Dad or Father or whatever you call me at this point in your life, this is what I want to do with my life right now. And let's move forward. Let's see where we can go and what we can do to make that a thing. Anyway, yet again, I'm gonna let you go now for real this time. But yeah, love you, Boogie. You take care. Bye-bye.